All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for for being here, particularly on such short notice. I mean, I know most of you, but I want to begin by saying that this is election season nationally, statewide, locally. And there's been a lot of speculation about what we are doing, what we should be doing, advice and counsel from all quarters, particularly elected officials, would-be elected officials, and so forth. But I ask you to talk to us before reporting things that may not be factual, because this is a serious case. Now, this morning, Fulton County filed a motion in federal court on my behalf, personally, and on behalf of the Fulton County Board of Registration and Elections. That's Robb Pitts and the Board of Registration and Elections versus the United States of America. The motion seeks the return of all files from the 2020 election that were confiscated by the FBI last week during the raid at our Fulton County Elections Hub. The motion also seeks the unsealing of the affidavit that was filed in support of the search warrant that the FBI used to raid our warehouse. Now, however, because the case is still under seal at this time, I cannot share the contents of the motion itself. Now, last week, I committed to the voters of Fulton County, and the world for that matter, that we will use every resource at our disposal to fight for their vote, and that we will fight using all resources against those who seek to take over our elections. Our Constitution itself is at stake in this fight. And I want to repeat, the Constitution is the law of the land. The Constitution is not a suggestion. And once again, I want to thank all of those from around the nation, legal minds in particular, who have volunteered their assistance, because they know that this is bigger than just Fulton County, Georgia alone. And we appreciate their help. And I really want to thank our county attorney. She and I have been working around the clock since last Wednesday, because this is a complicated case and we want to get it right. She's very competent, she's very capable, but we also recognize that because of the fact that this will involve, and it probably will involve, states, other states. In fact, the president himself has mentioned some 15 plus other states where he believes that there are problems. That's why I say that this is a very complicated situation and has implications far beyond Fulton County, Georgia. That's why we've brought on some outstanding legal minds, and I can talk more about them later if you'd like to know who they are, to advise us in this matter. We're not in this fight alone. But again, this case is not only about Fulton County, it's about elections across Georgia and across the nation. But Fulton County, make no mistake, in my opinion, we are the poster child here of all the states, all the counties, all the cities that may involve. Is Fulton County, Georgia, because of the 2020 elections. And the president himself and his allies, they refused to accept the fact that they lost. And even if he had won Georgia, he would still have lost the presidency. The 2020 elections, I've said it over and over again, and you know the story. They've been reviewed, they've been scrutinized, they've been audited, hand recounted, and everything else you can imagine. The results are always the same. And What they're doing with the ballots that they have now, we don't know. But if they're counted fairly and honestly, the results will be the same. In addition to that, since 2020, Fulton County has conducted 17 successful elections without any issues. Our Fulton County Elections Department, as I stand before you this morning, is focused right now on delivering free and fair elections in 2026 in compliance with the law. And we must do this without interference or threats of a federal takeover. Since we're still in the early stages of this fight, I can't go into a lot of detail, but I promise you that I, in my role as chair of the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County and the spokesperson for Fulton County, I will continue to keep you updated as warranted. Thank you.
It sounds like you're suggesting that there's other people involved in this lawsuit other than Fulton County in the United States. Is that accurate?
When you say involved, what I meant by that is that we have other counsel that's working with our county attorney. That's what I mean by that. Other legal minds who have experience, knowledge, expertise in these matters. But our county attorney has done an outstanding job so far.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
We've heard from the President saying that he wants to nationalize elections.
Yes.
And in order to somehow do that, he would have to gather evidence to prove malfeasance or fraud. Do you believe that Fulton County is the epicenter of an effort to do this?
I really do. And I think that Fulton County, Georgia is in fact the epicenter, and I'll tell you why. 2020, they're fixated on 2020. That's number one. Number two, President Biden really carried Fulton County. Senator Ossoff was elected. Senator Warnock was elected. We all know the problems that the president had. Our DA and the president, that was a problem. He never wanted to come here to be photographed when he was booked in. So there's just a litany of things as to why I believe that Fulton County is a target for him and his allies.
Mr. Chairman, why do you feel this was a necessary step to get the physical ballots back instead of just letting this investigation play out?
Well, first of all, we don't know where they are. We don't know really who has them. We don't know what they're doing with them. Are they being tampered with? I can use my imagination, and I would certainly hope not, but we don't know. So that's why we'd like to get them back so we can take an inventory. In fact, with respect to the inventory, typically I'm told, I'm no constitutional scholar, legal scholar by any means, but typically when these kinds of raids happen, you're given notice that on such and such a date the FBI is coming or somebody's coming, and be prepared. But we were given no notice whatsoever. They showed up and took the 700 boxes that they wanted. So what they're doing with them now, we don't know. Typically we're given copies. We don't even have copies of what they took. So it's a problem. What are they doing with them? Where are they? Who has them? We don't know.
So you would say this is more so out of this necessity of voter privacy?
Absolutely.
And why do you feel like you were a target? I heard you say that in a previous comment. Why do you feel like you were a target of this investigation?
Well, I'm told that. I mean, I've gotten I received a call on Monday before last Wednesday, before the raid, that there were going to be arrests in Georgia. Secretary of State, his deputy, Sterling, I believe his name is, me, and 2 or 3 others. That did not happen on Monday. It didn't happen on Tuesday. But lo and behold, on Wednesday, the FBI shows up. And in addition to the FBI showing up, when Tulsi Gabbard showed up and we'd heard a rumor that she may be coming, I couldn't believe it. But I didn't meet her, didn't talk to her, but she was in fact there. So that leads me to believe, and any rational thinking person, that there's something sinister going on here. There's something bigger than just the FBI confiscating the records that they took. So that's why I say that. But nothing happened. Now, after the FBI raid on Wednesday, on Friday I received another call. Actually, it was this Monday. Same source saying that you guys can't relax. even though the FBI has been there and they've confiscated the 700 boxes, arrests are coming. So we'll have to wait and see.
Chairman, can you talk about the state elections board has investigated and decided we got to take over the Fulton County board of elections. Are you worried now that the Trump administration is coordinating with the state elections board using this evidence to actually start?
That's certainly a possibility, and certainly something that I'm concerned about. And I think if they're able to do it here, that's why I say we're the epicenter, and we'll be the test case. If they're successful in Georgia, Fulton County, Georgia in particular, the others on that list of 15 plus states, they should be aware.
Mr. Chairman, the fact that the president called, talked to some of the investigators while they were there, it seemed highly unusual. How did you react to hearing the news that the actual president of the United States called while that evidence was being taken?
Well, even before that, when Tulsi Gabbard showed up, that was a signal to me that this is bigger than just the confiscation of our records. And then we learned if he in fact has spoken with her and others, that's simply proof that this is bigger than just what appears to be the confiscation of our records.
Chairman, we've heard over and over again people calling this raid a voter intimidation tactic and that it's more about 2026 than 2020. What's your message to voters that might be concerned about their security or concerned about casting a vote in 2026?
Well, I think they should be concerned, and I'm concerned about it as well, because 2026 is going to be an important year with our Senate race. You know what the makeup is of the Senate, so it's going to be important, and anything that can be done to influence that, I think, is going to be done. And this is, I think, probably the first step in whatever they're going to do in order to depress voter participation, voter registration, making whatever changes they think are necessary to help their case in 2026, but more importantly in 2028.
You mentioned that you were told not to relax and to be ready for potential arrest. Who was it that told you that?
Well, I won't disclose who told me that, but they are knowledgeable in D.C. So,
Somebody in federal government?
well, I won't say that. I don't know.
Are you concerned about the investigation?
No, I am not, because the truth is on our side. I have not done anything that would warrant an arrest. I'm not aware of anyone within our elections department having done anything that would warrant arrest. We're simply doing our job. And again, the reason that I went to our elections hub the day that I got a telephone call that the FBI is here was first and foremost to make sure that our employees were safe, and number two, to make sure that we complied with everything that the FBI was seeking. Because I have no issue with the FBI. They're doing their jobs. They're men and women who are doing their jobs.
Hi guys, Chairman needs to step out for a minute. Thank you all so much for coming this morning.
Thank you very much.